Yo, rap is not dangerous, bro. Keep hearing people say hip-hop is dangerous. Y'all actually go make that shit dangerous, and y'all go make these folks make laws to stopping hip-hop music and stopping y'all from performing it. When we can't do music, what we gonna only have? Sports.
Like, it come with the music. All right. So you're telling me death comes with the music. Think about that shit. Death comes with the music, bruh. How many neo-soul singers are getting shot at the studio? That's music. How many opera singers is getting their concerts shot up? That's music. How many gospel hip-hop rappers is getting gunned down in the streets? That's music. So your statement don't make sense. What does make sense, though, is listen to what you rapping about in your music.
Bro, that shit ain't cool. Don't ever believe it. Right, hip-hop ain't dangerous. The way you moving is dangerous. The way you acting is dangerous. The people you choose to keep around you are fucking dangerous. But it's your job, bro. It's your job, bro, to change your life because God bless you with a talent. God gave you a career to where you don't have to live dangerously. You don't have to punch clocks. You don't have to worry about kissing your boss ass to keep your job because you created a job for yourself, for your friends, for your family. You are the boss. So if you hang around criminals, you're not doing your job correctly because you're supposed to get the niggas out the streets.
You're rapping about guns. You're rapping about killing people. You're rapping about selling drugs. You're rapping about using drugs. You're glorifying this shit. You're rapping about how hard you is and how hard you gon' bust a nigga and you'll bust a nigga head and whoop whoop whoop. Then you wonder why your chain gets snatched at your shows. You wonder why the studio gets shot up while you in it. You wonder why niggas is setting you up cause you're the plug. Cause you got all the bricks. Come on, man. It don't come with the music. It come with what you put in the music. You feel what I'm saying? Like, it don't make sense.
The purpose of being invited to a private meeting to discuss the future of hip-hop.
Talk to him.
Among the attendees was a small group of unfamiliar faces who stayed to themselves and made no attempt to socialize beyond their circle. He explained that the companies we worked for had invested millions into the building of privately owned prisons, and that our positions of influence in the music industry would actually impact the profitability of these investments. Sure enough, someone asked what these prisons were and what any of this had to do with music. We were told that these prisons were built by privately owned companies who received funding from the government based on the number of inmates. The more inmates, the more the government would pay these prisons. Our employees had become silent investors in this prison business. It was now in their interest to make sure that these prisons remain filled. Our job would be to help make this happen by making music which promote criminal behavior, rap being the music of choice.
And being a crackhead wasn't cool. Now it seems like they're making it cool to be drinking lean and syrup and
it's the most dangerous. It's the most dangerous thing that's facing our society.
So why sign an artist that would promote that?
Because I already answered that question. You weren't paying attention. She asked me talent or issues, and I said talent. But I have to. I can't give up on people.
But I'm saying that's hypocritical, though. You're saying
it's opportunistic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got people to feed. I got a business to run.
You're gonna make Dame Dash take this clip and call you a culture vulture.
And was there a part of the interview where I guess they asked him about like signing people that are
this is what I was
promoting the drug use?
This is what I was about to get to.
Felons and things like
right.
that.
So they were saying, what do you go for? Talent or issues? Like basically they said if an artist has talent and he can sell records, but he has certain personal issues, or they might talk about some shit that you don't agree with, what do you go with? You know what I mean? Like, and basically he says, I go with the talent. Like, it doesn't matter what issues that they might have, like, or what they talk about, like, and at some point he's like, listen, I got a family to feed, I got employees I gotta pay and all this type of shit. No, he would just call them an addict. Not that he will not sign them, though. He'll still fucking sign them. Right. He'll still put them out. And if they rhyme about lean, he'll put that out. Right. But what he was trying to say was, I will call them a drug addict to their face. Right. Okay. But that's not going to stop you from putting a motherfucker out who's on lean. Right. He was there during DMX's fucking heyday. Right, yeah. You understand what I'm saying? Right. And yet, what did he do for DMX? Like, you understand what I'm saying? Like, he might have said, I tried to get him help and all of that, but what did he really do? You know what I mean? And he's also accused of, like, breaking up Rockefeller and all of that, right? So when he's asked about
Dame's been calling him a culture vulture forever.
Listen, when he was asked about that, right? He's going to say, now this was very telling. He said, who's Dame Dash?
Stop moving like nothing to prove to no one. I know my handle. I know exactly what I'm gonna do when certain situations present itself. I know I've always been a real nigga. I never crossed anyone. I'm talking about ever, my nigga, in my life. Ever. It's not a soul on earth that say I crossed them. And if they did, they doing that shit for clout to make them look good. It's cap. I hope my mama and my grandma was burning hell from that. It's cap. So when I talk, it's from experience, and I hope you ain't got to experience the shit I did. Because I did it for you and every other nigga that came from where I come from, bro. And I ain't gonna call it the struggle. I'm gonna just call it a place where they don't got hope for people like this. A place where they just not telling us we ain't gonna be shit, but they putting things around us that's telling us and showing us that you ain't gonna be shit and you living in shit.
You have to understand 13-year-olds, 14-year-olds, they don't have the mindset where they can decipher what's real and what's not. So people like Lil Pumps and these type of kids who are just bullshitting, they are literally telling the rest of the world, the Russias, the Chinas, they're telling the world that this is what it means to be black in a sense. And that's the problem. And I understand that I'm not black, but God forbid, right? If China looks at me and says, this is what it means to be black, they shouldn't because I'm not black. But if they do, at least it is not ridiculous. At least I'm talking about self-sufficiency, ownership, music, you know what I'm saying? Like, as opposed to what's being pushed to the forefront, which is absolute clownery. And it's a mockery, it's a parody, bro. It's a parody. And motherfuckers can say whatever they want to say about it. I'm not supposed to be liked for that comment.
The only, I don't think you say anything wrong. They may not like the messenger, but
yeah, I'm used to that.
A few problems I have with what you just said.
Yes, fine.
For everything that you put on the 13-year-old girls, I put on the labels. Because these young children are so impressionable and they don't have the wherewithal to, they're targeted. I never used to understand why labels would rather you, the younger, the better.
Yeah.
As I got older, this is why. So you target the kids who don't know shit about shit. And now you are pushing this image of, I don't even know what to call it, to the top of black culture.
Yeah.
that we don't own.
Yeah.
Us, we as in blacks. There's nothing black about Vivendi.
Yeah. Yeah.
So now that gets me in a whole different bag.
Yeah.
And now I'm not mad at the 13-year-olds, and now I'm not mad at the labels. I'm not mad at the artists that are running around talking about popping perks and pushing all these negative stereotypes and stigmas out there, because y'all are pawns.
Yeah, for sure. Well, it's because the industry is using black kids as weapons of mass destruction.
Yes.
That's what's happening. And so
Yes.
they're using black kids to further the destruction of the black community.
Yes.
And at that point, I'm not gonna win that battle by myself, but I definitely will say something about it.
Self-awareness is important.
Yeah, like I'll definitely say it. I'm not gonna win it, but I'll say it. I'll say it because I also know that this life ends, and I also know that when I die and you run these interviews back, you'll be like, Russ was on some shit.
Now that I'm older, now that I got kids, now that you know what I'm saying, like, that shit's corny. That shit's corny, man. Like, cause really, what we doing, man? We got kids that's coming after us. And all we teaching our kids is to be dope boys, to be trappers. And these kids is growing up thinking this is the way. We leading them down a path where we know it leads to nothing but death and jail.
It seems that their minds are impervious, impenetrable to the message that the OGs are giving out about how dangerous this game can be, how purposeful some of the traps are set, and how easily they can fall victim to the music game. Well, luckily for us that won't listen to people who look like me, a former record label executive came out and made a public statement following the death of Takeoff from the Migos, and he felt compelled to speak specifically to the black music community, the rap community, the hip-hop community. So if you don't want to listen to me, and you don't want to listen to the other OGs in the game, let's see if you'll listen to what he had to say about the wicked machinations of the music business.
Here's the truth. The truth is this: a bunch of young black male rappers keep dying. You know who's not dying? Record executives. The record executives that push for them to continue to make songs and create a culture that is obsessed with death, drugs, and sex. Period. The industry's obsessed with it, but those record executives, they're not dying because they don't push this culture on their own people, but they're encouraging you to push it on yours, and they're paying you handsomely to do it. The reality is, I know a lot of you. A lot of you are good people, you're family guys. You're not the image that you put out there to the world. Why? Why don't you be the example? Stand up. I challenge you. Be the example. Make music about the culture you want to see. Don't just get online today and talk about how, whenever a rapper makes it, his own people take him down. Don't just make those videos. Don't be sad. Don't rest in peace. None of that stuff. Be the change you want to see. Inspire it in your community. Reach out to other rappers and say, we have to stop. We're being used. You've been used for a long time. They create this paradigm to make you believe that you're so important and your celebrity status is worth so much, but in truth, you're a pawn in their game and you always have been. The government has wanted to hold down communities of people in different ways through different methods for a very long time. Their method in the black community has been to use entertainment to create a culture obsessed with death, drugs, sex, and money, so that they could create a false paradigm of what happiness and what success really was. And in doing so, they created a world that also made people more dependent on government, and as a result, gave themselves more power. The record executives that push you to do this, to go and continue to profit off the backs of your work, they're in cahoots with the elite. They're in cahoots with the government. They want you to think you're important, but in truth, you're just doing their dirty work for them, so stop. They've empowered you in ways that are real. You have an audience, you have platforms, you have the ability to make change.
He issued a challenge. He understands how we think, how we feel, how we ingest information, how we're always up for a challenge. That's how we end up with a death culture. Somebody steps on your Air Force Ones and challenge. Somebody calls you out your name and challenge. Somebody cuts you off on the road and challenge. Seems like we're always up for a challenge. So he didn't just present a solution and say, hey, here's how to fix it. Nah, he threw that bait in the water and said, he said it more than once, I'm issuing a challenge to your community to do better, to make a change, to evolve, to educate yourself and understand what's going on in this industry, how it's manipulating you, how it's been manipulating you for generations. And some of y'all wonder why I speak so bad about the music industry. Because I see it for what it is. And I see so many musicians who are dying to be a part of it, no matter what the cost. And in most circumstances, the cost is extremely high. Even if it's not death, as in Takeoff's situation, it's often drug addiction. It's often multiple baby mamas, homelessness, poverty. These are the issues that befall musicians that want to take part in this game. And without having a thorough understanding of what the music industry is about, we easily fall victim to the traps that are set by the exploiters as we become the exploited. This is what the music industry is about.
So go against the grain together. They're more afraid of you all together standing up and creating a new culture that's built around family, faith, freedom, doing the right thing, valuing life, than they are of anything else. So I challenge you, use your power to do the right things. If you continue to do the same thing you've done, more rappers like this are going to die. How many have to die before you change the culture? And let me tell you something else. There's a reason the record labels pay us more to do rap videos. They don't tell you that, do they? Do they tell you that they pay us more to do your videos? Because they do. They do it because they know it's more dangerous. They do it because they know it's more difficult. And they do it because, frankly, there's a lot of money laundering involved. Those labels wash a bunch of money through. We don't do it, but we know the labels are doing it 100%. Okay, they're then taking the money off the top end, and you see on your royalty check, oh, they spent $150,000 on this video. Did they? Because we didn't see $150,000. Okay, so where did the money go? And to who? Their friend's company? A lot of times that's the case. Same thing with insurance companies. They charge us more to insure your videos. And it's because they know the culture that's been created. They know that the only possibility of a music video being shot up is on a rap video. And that's the truth. So change the culture. You have the power. Your people deserve it.
This is trap. This shit here go against the grain. This is trap music. Hey, this is trap music. Yeah, this that trap music. Hey, this is trap music. Hey, this that trap music. Yeah, this that trap music. Hey, this that trap music. Hey, welcome back to the game, nigga. Yeah, I'm still the same nigga. Everybody else switching folded, I never changed, nigga. 10 toed down in my mission that I was gay, nigga. Nigga say, here come the chief, get out the way, nigga. Trap music, stand on that heavy and host to say, nigga. I ain't got no time to be praying, I make the change, nigga. Power in the tongue and they know it and y'all to pray, nigga. They ain't gotta do shit, y'all do it for them like slaves, nigga. Niggas hate the truth, but ain't nobody else to blame but us. Hey, folk only do what you let them, so who gon' change it up exactly? Niggas rather help killers than help to wake us up and cry like some bitches about how the white man oppressing them. It's y'all niggas making that music that keep us hating us. Promote that bullshit to our children like it's some help to us. Then say the dumbest shit about rapping being so dangerous. Nah, nigga, that's that genocide music y'all make that's lame as fuck. This is trap. This shit here go against the grain. This is trap music. Hey, this is trap music. Yeah, this that trap music. Hey, this is trap music. Hey, this that trap music. Yeah, this that trap music. Hey, this that trap music. We on the way, nigga. Drill music, trap or die, stripper, hoes, and genocide. Alphabet agendas promoted to warp our children's minds. Gangbang music, that shit that y'all love to rap about. And everything I name's all the shit that y'all love to glorify. Y'all niggas lame as hell, leading our children down all the roads to dial. Locked up in the cell with a number just like them folk design. Y'all niggas getting played at this point. Y'all niggas more than blind. Them murder raps that got you y'all deals. Y'all getting slumped behind, vibrating at the lowest of frequencies with no hope to rise. Y'all gotta make it make sense to me. How these ain't opposite minds. I fight to build and liberate. They continue to tear us down. They pick the side. All skin folk ain't kin. That's how a snake survives. They slither around till they find them a route to get inside. Then after that's the chaos, confusion, and hopes to bring divide. These niggas claim they know so much about rap. Well, if they did, they'll get. These ain't just no record deals. These is trap.